It's in motion.
How's it going, Exiles? My name is Ralph, and today we're going to be reviewing even more Ascendancy trees. Ascendancy is getting pretty close here, so I figured today we would go over the Templar trees. He has Inquisitor, Hierophant, and Guardian. Let's start out with Inquisitor. Oh man, the Hobo Battle Mage. Let's first look. Every single node has 10% elemental damage like the Elementalist, which is pretty okay. It's okay. He's got 2/4 trees, 2/2 trees. Alright, down here, 4% attack and cast speed. Nice. I love the attack and cast speed. I like the versatility of that. Over here, Instruments of Virtue. 20% spell damage if you've cast a spell recently. So if you're a spellcaster, you'll just have 20% spell damage, which is really nice. 40% attack damage if you cast a spell. Okay, so if you cast a spell and then attack it, so kind of switch back and forth here. Increase attack speed if you attacked recently. Again, an attack speed buff if you're just attacking for an attack build, pretty good. And then at cast speed, 20% cast speed if you've attacked. So yeah, this is definitely a battle mage type theme right away. You can tell from this 2-point node. Right away, cast on melee kill, maybe some cool stuff with that, or even Mjolnir, because you get that chance to cast spells when you're attacking and stuff, or something like that. This is actually pretty cool, because those numbers are these are definitely good numbers. I would like to see some cast on melee kill stuff. I love the battle mage, maybe even someone who is effectively casting spells and attacking. That would be really cool to see. I don't know, craft a really good staff with enough spell damage and phys damage. I doubt that's going to happen, but still a really cool theme. Alright, let's go across here. 6% all res, not that great, but it's nice. Don't have to get on your gear. Augury of Penitence. Nearby enemies deal 5% less elemental damage. Wow, that's a multiplier. Nearby enemies, nearby, not exactly sure, but 5% less multiplier, that's definitely a good defensive stat. And it's going to help out your entire party, and then nearby enemies take 10% increased elemental damage, and that's going to affect your entire party if you are doing party play, because the enemies will just take additional elemental damage from everyone in your party. This is a really solid node. This one's more specific, more niche, kind of just like talent buffs, like stat buffs if you don't utilize every part of it. This one is just generally great. Alright, up here, 0.5 life regen. That's alright. But could be better though. I don't know. Sanctify. 25% chance to create consecrated ground when hit. Lasting 3 seconds. 3 seconds isn't that long time. Allies standing on consecrated ground regenerate a percentage of their maximum life. Pretty sure it's 4%. So, it's alright. Consecrated ground is kind of tanky. It's tanky. Chance to create, and 25% chance to create when you on kill. So, I guess this is good for fast-hitting bosses. If you have a boss that's kind of on top of you, kind of like the dual striker, they're hitting you really fast, and you're going to get hit. You have a 25% chance, get that 4% life regen ground. It's pretty good. It's tanky talent. Go over here, more life regen. Pious Path. 40% increased damage while on consecrated ground. 40% is definitely a lot. 50% reduced mana cost. That's kind of weird because the consecrated ground is obviously situational. I know there's a flask that's going to create consecrated ground, but you're going to be moving, and it's not really... You're not going to be able to be on consecrated ground that consistently, and you're not going to rely on this mana buff, I hope, for your build. So that's a little strange to me. Maybe for very specific boss farming builds, this could be good. Immune to elemental status ailments while on consecrated ground. That part is really great. That's great. This node is good. I think the damage and the immune to ailments is much better than the middle node. The middle part's a little bit awkward. There's a couple consecrated ground uniques, but still consecrated ground's a little bit iffy, and we don't know yet. We're gonna have to wait for Ascendancy to know. But still, it is the tanky aspect of this tree for sure. 4% life regen is not small, but 4% life regen isn't going to save your character a lot of the times. Alright, down here comes the broken stuff. 15 crit multi per node, which is really solid. And then Righteous Providence. 100% increased crit strike chance against enemies that are affected by no status ailments. That's really cool, because crits apply the status ailments. So 100 crit is not a small number. That's definitely very convenient, definitely very nice. And then 45 crit multi against enemies affected by status ailments. Really good crit stuff there. So if you were doing a crit, you would just do this one, and then you get that, and then you go for this next one. Inevitable Judgment. Critical strikes ignore enemy elemental resists. Oh man, forget those elemental curses. Just Assassin's Mark. Screw it. You don't need to reduce their resists at all. You just need the penetration, because your crits will ignore their elemental resists. It will assume they're at 0, and then you can penetrate their 0 resists into negative, and they'll take multiplicative damage. This is a very strong node. And then non-crit strikes will penetrate 10% of enemy elemental resists anyway. Very strong, very solid. I like that this kind of makes, if you were critting consistently, seriously, elemental curses will be pointless for you, and you would rather use Assassin's Mark, which I think kind of adds a cool playstyle. Got a really kind of battle mage-y crit. I'd love to see a crit battle mage, right? And maybe some cast on crit staff melee hipster stuff, or this is good auras for your elemental, less damage, increased damage. This is kind of party play stuff, and this is like tanky consecrated ground. It's too soon to know how good this is going to be, but really cool theme for this tree, and he's looking pretty good for a hobo. All right, on to the Hierophant. I like this tree. It's a little weird. He looks like a mage. He looks kind of like a DPS-y type character, but what you see is really strange, and this node up here is like one of my favorites in all of Ascendancy. I just love it. Let's start here. Oh yeah, every single small node has 20% mana regen, which is a little awkward because not a lot of characters build around mana regen, considering they nerfed Arctic Armor. Ever since the Arctic Armor meta kind of went down, not a lot of people just like stacking mana regen, except for Mind Over Matter. And even then, Mind Over Matter might just use Eldritch Battery and Energy Shield with the Zealot's Oath. So, a little weird to have mana regen. Might just be convenient, I suppose, but still. Alright, down here, Endurance Charge Duration and Power Charge Duration. It's okay. It's quality. It's nice. It's convenient. It's not, like, broken or anything. Conviction of Power. I love this one. 10% chance to gain a power charge on kill. Small. Okay. Maybe if you're farming Dried Lake, the God Density mode, you will keep up power charges with this talent and you have amazing clear speed, but that's not really what you should be building. I mean, you can build characters that way, but it's kind of unfortunate when you can't keep up stuff consistently. I don't really like the on-kill stuff. 25% chance to gain an endurance charge when you gain a power charge. Now, this is very strong, and even though, I kind of mock endurance charges because, they're so easy to get, but this has very high potential, because things like Kingsguard, and if you gain power charges, and you gain power charges so quickly, one thing people were doing was the cast on crit, and the vols that gave the power charge every time you crit, and Blade Vortex. Blade Vortex gives a lot of power charges, because one cast goes around and hits a bunch of times, and it has a 6% base, which is pretty good. So, you're talking Kingsguard, and then Cyclone, cast on crit, discharge, power charge on crit, and Blade Vortex. And you're going to be whirling around, getting those Blade Vortexes, getting the crits from them, getting the power charges, having a 25% chance to get the endurance charge, blowing up, losing the endurance charges, and then getting that life from Kingsguard, which is pretty cool, because right now this sort of mechanic is pretty much restricted to Vol's Devotion, which is extremely hard to get, because it's a legacy item. It's very, very, very big ticket item. I really like this talent. It is kind of one-dimensional, though. I mean, because that's a very specific situation where you can make it overpowered. Otherwise, it's just okay. But I guess it's okay because, 10% power charge on kill, yeah, it's good. Alright, now let's go over here. Oh yeah, this small node has 10% increased max mana, so this is some obvious Mind Over Matter type stuff, and this one proves that. Divine Guidance, 100 to max mana. That's a lot of base mana, so that's great. When hit, 10% of damage is taken from mana before life. So this is just a mini Mind Over Matter, which is 30%, so you'd be up to 40%, which is a lot. I like this. I just really wish Mind Over Matter had some way of applying to your energy shield. And, this is good, but you really need to see the next talent to analyze this one, I think. However, this is good for 2 points. It's good for 2 points, especially because this one and this one you could utilize it. But still, the next one, you get the 10% mana again. Sanctuary of Thought. gained 15% of max mana as extra max energy shield. Okay, that's good, right? Because you'll stack mana, and then you'll get energy shield for it. But mind over matter, the 10% is taken from life, not energy shield. And, well, okay, we'll just convert your energy shield to Eldritch Battery to cover your mana for the mind over matter efficiency. But then you don't get any use out of the 100 base mana. Do you see how awkward these two talents are? It's really uncomfortable. The only way to get full use of these two talents is with some low life that does not use Shavron's wrappings, and where chaos damage hits. Chaos, and a lot of chaos damage is degen anyway, but still, where chaos damage hits are applying to your life, but 10% of it is taken, well, 10%, and then the 30% from mind over matter, 40% would be taken from your mana before your life, and then you would have the extra mana as energy shield, because you would be going low life. I think that this one should probably be before this one. I don't know. These two talents are so awkward. I really like the design, but I wish this was a modified mind over matter and it was 10% before energy shield. It'd be really cool to have, just like Whispering Ice, stacking energy shield mana monsters like we have, but even more powerful with the Templar. It'd be really cool. I don't know. These two talents are awkward. They're just awkward together because it's very hard to get full use out of all of them, and they're in the same path. And this one, 15% is good. Like, getting the extra energy shield is good, but getting use out of it is just strange. Getting use out of this and that is strange. Alright, come over here. 20% totem placement speed. That is really nice. Really awesome feeling. I mean, 20%, you'll have 40%. Like, it feels convenient. When you're playing totems, placement speed, it sucks without placement speed. It's just like with traps and throwing speed. Alright. Pursuit of Faith. 4% increased damage per enemy killed by you or your totems recently. 4 seconds, past 4 seconds. 4% increased damage. I mean, clear speed, blah, 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 blah. Kind of, how excited can you get? I mean, it's cool, and you'll be able to stack this 4%, but still. And then 8% increased attack and cast speed while you have a totem. Seems pretty weak for 2 points. I guess the placement speed is good enough, but I wish it was 8% increased attack and cast speed per totem, because the first stat is kind of blah. Still, I like it because the next talent is awesome. More mana regen, Ritual of Awakening can have up to 2 additional totems summoned at a time. So you start with 1, and we're not going to acknowledge Searing Bond here. You start with 1, you get this, you could have 3, you get the talent by Templar, you could have 4, you could even get that crappy chest. Well, it's not that crappy, but you get that chest, you get 5. Oh man. And then it's 10% less totem damage per active totem, which is cool because it's kind of like Spell Echo in a way, because all of your spells are repeating, but you get 10% less damage, but everyone knows that Spell Echo is a damage increase, and you have so much totem placement speed. This could maybe make some budget builds work, because you'll be able to place so many totems so quickly that even though you're weak, you'll just have so many spells going off. I would love to see 4 totem Sparker just filling the screen. It'd be so annoying. I know on the State of Exile podcast, they didn't really like this talent because the idea was basically, well, if your totems are good, if you're running a strong build, 1 totem should kill an entire pack. And I really hate that. PoE has become in some ways a really quick, fast game where we think in terms of pack clear speed. What about those difficult challenges, those difficult bosses, like those really high tier maps? Forget clearing packs. I know farming XP is important, but on bosses, being able to surround them with 4 totems and just watch them drain their life, I love this talent. I think it's so cool. I just like the multiple totems, and I love the classical Spark days where the screen just looked hilarious. Alright, so yeah, I like this. This is the Totem Templar. It's the weird mom, weird Vol's Devotion, or Vol's Protector, whatever. Yeah, Totem Templar. It's kind of random stuff going on here. Kind of random 2-point nodes. Up here, 10% increased area damage. So that's definitely good with totem stuff, probably, because if your totem's casting an AoE spell. Just saying. 10% area damage, pretty good. Illuminated Devotion. I love this talent. It interacts with your gear, and it's an Ascendancy talent. It's so cool. I'm just going to read it first. Skills from your helmet penetrate 20% elemental resist. Awesome. 4-link, not anymore. Skills from your gloves have 20% increased area of effect. 4-link, not anymore. skills from your boots leech 2% of damage as life. 2% damage leech is not easy to get. So I just want to say, this is awesome. It turns your 4-link items into 5-link items effectively. Holy, 2 points? This is such a cool talent. What do you want to put in your boots? Your single target maybe? 2% leech? That's not a joke. That's great leech. Gloves, 20% increased area of effect. I don't know, I mean, let's say you're running a budget build. Thunder Fists are pretty cheap. They have the added lightning area of effect. Thunder Fist, maybe you get that 4-link, but the Thunder Effect has the added lightning, so maybe like it's basically like a mini 5 kind of 6-link. Maybe some shrapnel shot, some lightning arrow, because you have the added lightning, get that wed. Some cool stuff going on there. Helmet, penetrate 20% elemental resist. Anything that affects sockets. Like even Rhyme Gaze, it has the conk effect, the cold damage. 20% elemental pen, you're going to start with that just by having the item and then you get the 4-link. I'm just saying, you could get some really strong single target, even if it was with something like Cold Snap. Like, you're just going to hit it with your 4-link. It's going to be like, bam. Like, such a cool talent. Maybe, Vertex, crappy mask, whatever, I guess, but +1 to gems. Get that 20% elemental pen on the helmet. Like always, because I'm with my Ancestral Protector totem idea, I was thinking about the totems that you do like an elemental type situation with the helmet pen, with some fizz to lightning, added fire stuff, with the new melee totem. I don't even know. I really love this talent, the way it affects your character building and decisions, because you could have, a really budget character with an AoE clear on your gloves, with, a single target on your helmet or your boots. Super cool, and your gloves have 20% increased area of effect. Auras, Blasphemy Aura, these don't have modifiers. These don't modify the mana reservation or cost. This is such a cool talent. I love this tree just because this talent. Really, really good. And I love the totems. This is awkward. But still, and the theme here, it's kind of weird. I don't know what he is. He's like a mage, but he's got the most random stuff all put together. Still a cool tree. Hierophant Hobo in Ascendancy. Alright, on to Guardian. The support class, we're waiting. The angriest janitor hobo of them all, with the glowing stick of light. Awesome. Alright, every single node has 14% increased armor and 6% ES. Which is just so cool because I love the hybrid builds. I really wish they were more popular. So much of the time it's like, I'm health, I'm ES, or poor armor, or I play evasion. It's so cool when you get to do the evasion energy shield with the shadow, which is going to be in the trickster area, or, here, armor energy shield. I've always loved armor energy shield stuff. And I think it's really cool that just for being here, you're going to get 18 energy shield. 18% energy shield, and you're going to get the 42 armor, which is not, it's definitely a lot. It's definitely a nice bonus. Start here. 20% increased endurance, frenzy, and power charge duration. That's convenient. It's nice. Just makes it, it's whatever. Just a little duration. Sometimes you lose them. It's whatever. Up here, harmony of purpose. Nearby enemy monsters cannot gain power charge, frenzy, or endurance charges. This is kind of Legacy of the Zeal. I don't know. I mean, it's all right. Whatever. The next line is cooler. Nearby party members have conduit. Oh yeah, the full Templar discharge party. That's what it's gonna be. Or even if just one person in your group is using frenzy skill or using blood rage, building frenzy charges, building endurance charges, building, power charges or something like that, the nearby party members have conduit, so then everyone gets it, which is just the coolest thing. What a cool support talent, honestly. I really like this. Good one. This is good talent. I mean, it's cool, because if you build with your friends around this, yeah, you can make an awesome support group. This one, 20% increased Warcry duration. Alrighty. I mean, some of them have longer durations than others. Some of the durations are more pointful. There's only 3 Warcries right now, and I like Rallying Cry the best because I love the mana regen. I hate dealing with mana. Alright. Prayer of Glory. You and nearby allies have 15% increased attack, cast, and movement speed if you used a Warcry recently. Recently, again, is the past 4 seconds. Wow. That's awesome. Just like Warcry and then run with your party, like a little just movement speed buff. It's really cool. And the kind of RP immersion of it's awesome. It's just like you scream and all your buddies just run with you like, "Brah!" And then this, using war cries is instant. Oh man, I love that. That is so good. I hate it. War cries are kind of annoying to use sometimes. I mean, if you get stunned after you used one or like while you're using one, instant war cries, very nice talent. Very, very nice talent. I like this one. It's cool. And it's kind of very party support. They nailed this so far. 0.5 life regen. Again, not too much, but next to that other stuff. With the max energy shield, who knows, maybe do some Zealot's Oath stuff. Time of Need. I love this talent. I love this kind of playstyle. Every 10 seconds, remove curses and elemental status ailments from you. Again, 10 seconds is not a lot. Every 10 seconds, I mean, it's very infrequent, I should say. 30% of max life regenerated over 1 second. See, that's really cool. I don't know, I love talents like this. Like I said, we have a very clear speed type game right now, and I think those meaningful boss fights are really cool. And when you have to save the map, you have to save the portals, and you dodge the skills barely, or you get hit by an ignite and you're about to die, and then this thing pops, you're just gonna be like, oh, RNGesus, this is so good. It's gonna keep you alive. You know, you run out of flasks, but you don't have to portal, you just run around and kite some, and the kiting really feels skillful. It feels good in PoE. Love this talent. Really cool. I know it's not overpowered, but it's a cool talent. Up here, increased effective non-cursed auras you cast. Alright, so this is the aura stuff. 10% effective auras is great. Grants armor equal to 160% of your reserved life to you and nearby allies. Okay, grants maximum energy shield equal to 15% of your reserved mana to you and nearby allies. At first, I mean 160% of your reserved life, so even if you're not stacking life, you could have 2k life, 160% if you're reserving all of it. Yeah, you could get like a granite flask for you and your allies and stuff. That's great. And then the mana, I know my character that uses Pledge of Hands can have like 2k mana or something like that, 15%, 10%, you like 200, so like 300 energy shield. I mean, yeah, you could get another discipline if you're really building mana, but this is a cool talent. Things like Prism Guardian, where you're reserving all your life. You know, I always talk about Prism Guardian. I like that shield. It's pretty cheap, actually. Get all the, reserve your mana, reserve your health, and do that kind of stuff. Everyone's been talking Aegis with this one, understandably. It's very good with Aegis. I love that's a very cool build. Over here, auras you cast grant 1% physical damage reduction. So if you're stacking like 6 auras with something like Prism Guardian, easily you can do that. You can get like 6% phys reduction, which is not a lot. Kind of like endurance charges. I mean, endurance charge gives like 4, so this is okay. And then 0.2 max life regen per aura. I mean, these values seem low. That's only gonna get up to like, it's not even like vitality is so weak. These values just seem kind of low. I think this should probably be before this one. This one seems a lot better than this one. Still, really cool support. I have a Templar that can actually get perfect use of all this stupid stuff in this tree. So I was so excited when I saw this. Last one down here, 2% block. Oh man, 5% block. So you got 7 block. Awesome. You and nearby allies cannot be stunned if you've blocked recently. You and nearby allies, and you're gonna block. I've plugged it before. I'm gonna plug it again. Duresso shield is awesome. Stuff like Aegis, stuff like Prism Guardian with this low life. This is really cool. Wow, this is a strong talent, and this is a cool talent. I'm definitely pleased with this one. Wow. I don't know, because if you had 7% block and then you're spell blocking with the Duresso shield that I talked about, you're going to be immune to stun. This is crazy good. This is crazy good support tree. They definitely nailed the theme of this tree, without a doubt. Really pleased with all these. Got the supporty tank, got the I don't know caster dude, and got the battle mage. These were all great. This one fits the theme of my Templar perfectly. I'm definitely excited to update him, get the tree on him. I was so worried when I saw these two that he was going to be left in the dust, but they finally nailed it with this the support aura armor energy shield hybrid. These are super sick. I only got one more review left to do. Let me know what you guys think. I'm so hyped for Ascendancy, and thank you for watching.